All right, well, we didn't have as much time as we hoped to film along the way of its construction, but there is that plate that I cut the V into in another video some time back. There is our split collar, and I can't remember if I showed that component or not, that one there. But it's all together now, and it's very much a prototype, as we don't have any experience personally with this sort of setup. So I opted to make things much more adjustable than I originally conceived. So originally these uprights were going to be welded directly to that component there, but now we've got a plate bolted down on top, so we could shift that around if we needed to. Likewise, the connection to the carriage, there's no great way to attach to this carriage, so I used the two supplied holes that were for the follower rest, and then I put a mag drill actually on the top of the cross slide, and then drilled down and created two more drilled and tapped holes on the opposite side of the carriage. And then I've got these angle iron chunks here that are drilled and tapped both down to those bars and to these plates here, so that I can, right now all the holes are pretty close for fit up purposes, but I can easily throw the angle iron plates back in the mill and oversize them, so I've got some, movement to get this thing exactly where I want it, and I can find out how much adjustment one actually needs. This is all just somewhat of a hurried prototype. I'm not totally satisfied with the connection of this split sleeve to the rest of the members, but I got fed up with trying to do it aesthetically pleasing, and wanted to get the show on the road so I could prove the concept to myself and see if I had other features correct, namely the diameter of this bar. So we can always make a version 2 later on with a larger bar and a better connection to the saddle perhaps, but that totally bypasses both the compound and the cross slide. It gets us directly connected down to the saddle itself, carriage, I guess. And so there's our upright stationary guide. Our boring bar gets clamped in this sleeve here, and therefore when you move the carriage, the bar moves, and so does the boring head. And the boring head, I think I also showed that in another video. It's designed to accept 1-inch insert tool holders. I've cut this one down to length and relieved that side there for clearance. And then after the fact, I realized that it was going to be very difficult to indicate off of, so I just milled a quick little flat there so you can put your dial indicator on that flat surface. And that is actually how you adjust the depth of cut, is here, as this bar does not move off the center line axis of the lathe. And there's one component I'm still missing, and that is a half round block of either wood or plastic material that supports the boring head against the freshly created bored surface in the tube that you're boring, and that way all the reaction force from the tool pressure goes into the block and the wall of the tube rather than the bar. So hopefully we'll be able to bore out some monster depths with this. I'm not sure what the actual depth of cut we're going to be able to pull off with this setup is, but certainly it's longer than what we can readily utilize in the machine, or in this lathe that is. So likely once it gets to its nearer its final version, a bunch of this material is going to get trimmed off. The carriage with its chip guards and what have yous only moves back another 8 or 10 inches and then comes to a stop. So there's more rod there than we need. So when the carriage is advanced, the tool, boring head and the tool moves down into the bore, and the wood would pick up on the ID that you created, and down you go. This the way it's set up right now, we would be able to move in about 17 inches, I think is how I had it set there. The theoretical maximum would be 32 inches without changing the position of the stationary rest. And if you were to move it over, you'd be able to bore down 36 inches in one shot, which with this bed length on the lathe is totally unnecessary. But it is possible. So perhaps one would be able to do a roughing pass and bore nearly the whole length in one shot, and then do a finish pass halfway and friend it, and do another finish pass the other way. We'll see. It'll be very interesting to see what kind of tolerances I'm able to achieve with this. How close can you get it in the one shot method, and how close can you get it in 2 passes? So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully I'll be able to show you guys some experiments along the way, and wish me luck. Thanks for watching.